Hello, everyone. This is another Black Conservative. I am Ryan Bolin. Thank you all for joining me. What I want to talk about in this video is the student that pepper sprayed the teacher for taking her phone. And there's a video of this in the Breitbart News article that I'm about to read. This is totally insane. It's becoming more and more common throughout our country. And I'm going to give you guys my commentary on why I think that there is such a rise in students attacking teachers and administrators in the school systems. So let's get right into this article. And it's a sad thing. It's a sad situation. It's a sad situation, but there's a reason behind everything that's going on, the way I see it. The article says a Tennessee high school teacher was pepper sprayed after taking a student's cell phone away. The incident occurred last Friday at Antioch High School located in the neighborhoods around Nashville, as reported by Fox 17. Footage was posted by RedX user and shows the high schooler pepper spraying the teacher. And if you see this, it's crazy. And I hate to say, but the video of the student, and this is not always with these kinds of situations, but unfortunately, I'm seeing a vast majority of them being committed by black kids. This is a female student. She's black. She pepper sprays the teacher. He's white. The man is coughing and hacking and so forth. And she's just standing there. She just, give me my phone back. I'm on my phone back. I want my phone back. And everybody else is standing around, teachers and other people standing around not doing anything. Can't do anything to this girl. Man, I'm going to get into the details of that later on. I'm going to get into it. But none of this stuff would have happened back when I was coming up. But anyway. She follows him outside of the classroom and demands for him to return her phone. When he refused, she pepper sprayed him a second time right in his face, causing him to fall to his knees. She continued to grab for her phone. It's just insane, man. And by the way, if you guys hear that woo, that's the wind blowing outside the garage there. So pardon me for that. I haven't gotten to the point where I'm able to edit that type of stuff out. So the article goes on to say the commotion of the event caused a concerned teacher to come into the hallway with another adult to confront the student, telling her to step away. There appeared to be no concern for the teacher, and it did. It did. As you watch the video, it appeared to be no concern for the teacher. Okay. It says there appeared to be no concern for the teacher, who was assaulted as the student continued demanding the return of her cell phone. Can I get my phone? The student repeated. Can I get my phone? Can I get my phone? I need my phone. Off camera, another student pointed out the absurdity of the attack, saying, over a phone, this S is crazy. At least some of the students are not as bat crazy as she was. Okay. The Metro Nashville Public Schools said the student's actions, quote, represent a serious violation of law and our school policies and has received appropriate disciplinary consequences. You think? I mean, you think? And it goes, attacks on teachers have become a common news headline. And just last week, Breitbart reported that a Texas vice principal was sent to the hospital for trying to break up a fight between two students. And I remember that situation. I saw the video on that. Instead of students coming to her aid, a mob quickly ensued with the students screaming, everybody kick that HO. And I saw that. Just insane. Just insane. Education Week's Laura Langrio reported that educators attribute the rise in violent behavior and outbursts to challenges in transitioning from remote learning during the pandemic to the classroom. I don't that might be true to some extent, but I don't believe that's completely what the case was, because there were students assaulting teachers before the pandemic situation. Kids are out of line, period. They have been for quite some time. Let's go on. More than four of every 10 educators said at least one teacher in their district has been physically assaulted or attacked by a student in the past year, a new Ed Week Research Center's survey found. In addition, 10% of educators said they personally have been physically, that's crazy, 10% of educators said they personally have been physically assaulted or attacked by a student, according to the survey of 1,042 district leaders, principals, and teachers conducted between July 27 through August 8. And that is the end of that article right there. But that is just absolutely insane. It's crazy. I saw the video. It's very disturbing. And like I said, I saw the other video about the other teacher that tried to break up the fight and was assaulted. And I heard the kids hollering, kick that old. Oh. I said it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Well, that's. I'm sorry. My apologies for that. That slipped, but that's what they said. I mean, that's literally what they said. Yeah, talking about kicker, and and this is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. But first, I want to address first of all the parenting. You got to ask yourself a question: where are the parents when these kids act this way in the school? 9 times out of 10, if these young people, and it don't have to be, and let me tell you something, it does not have to be a 2-family home. That's preferable, okay, but it don't have to be a 2-family home, a 2-parent home rather. It don't have to be a 2-parent home. It can be a 1-parent home. If that parent, whether it's the mother or the father, has strong morals and they put these morals in these children, 9 times out of 10, they would not be conducting themselves like this in the schools. So you got to ask yourself a question: where is the parenting here? Where is the teaching of morals and values? More than likely, she didn't get that. She didn't get that at home. And if she did, she's trying to show off in front of her peers. But that's not usually the case. That's usually the reflection of bad parenting. But of course, the families, for the most part, were destroyed in the 1960s in both the white community and the black community. Okay, they were destroyed after the 1960s. Parenting, a single parent families rose in the amount. You had more violent attack. I mean, it was just crazy. It just went crazy. But I'm not going to get into the details of the so-called counterculture revolution of the 1960s, except to say that many researchers, such as Paul McGuire and others, state and document that that was a planned event in order to destroy the Judeo-Christian principles of this country, destroy the family, destroy patriotism, and destroy the economy, among other things. And you see that it has worked large in part. Okay, but this is crazy. This is crazy. So like I said, you got to ask, where are the parents? If you had better parenting, you probably wouldn't have this kind of stuff going on with these young people. But in addition to that, I remember when I was coming up in the 1980s, okay, the teachers, there was corporal punishment in the schools. There was corporal punishment in schools. They've stopped it, obviously, but there was corporal punishment in the schools. And I used to go to Charles Mooney, on the west side of Cleveland. And if you didn't do the homework of some of those teachers, you would get what they call SWATs. They had these long paddles. And some of you that's watching this video, you know what I'm talking about. But they had these long paddles. And man, and some of my teachers, like my math teacher, Mr. Winslow, if you didn't do his homework, you got a SWAT. And he swatted hard. What? I mean, that SWAT, that sound resonated throughout the hallway. Okay, they didn't play back then. Okay, now they didn't since borrow that, but in my opinion, I believe that they borrowed the SWATs because of the fact that they didn't want the elites, the intelligentsia, the way Thomas Sowell pronounces them, intelligentsia, the educated people, they're so educated and so superior to us in intellect that they know what's best for the kids. So let's get rid of corporal punishment, okay? Let's get rid of that because we don't want these people hitting on these kids, We don't want them to do woo. Well, has things gotten better? Nope. They've gotten increasingly worse. So when I was coming up, there was none of that. There was none of that, okay? But you see a lot of this stuff has to do with teachers' power and authority being stripped from them. A lot of teachers have gotten their authority and power stripped from them, so there's nothing much that they can actually do. And the whole idea of these teachers taking cell phones, it's me personally, if I was a teacher, I wouldn't even chance it. I wouldn't even chance it with these kids. I wouldn't even chance taking their phone from them, okay? If you want to have your phone, look, my thing, and it's just me. Look, it's just me. If I was a teacher and it was a test going on or whatever in the school, in the classroom or whatever, or I gave a test or whatever, or I'm teaching, and that particular student is on their phone, okay, I would probably just ignore them. If everybody else is learning and listening, I would large in part ignore them. Or I would do this. The person that had their phone, what I would do would say, look, you know what? If you want to be on your phone while I'm teaching, I'm going to ask you to get up and leave or go in the back of the room. Okay? Because other people want to learn. Other people want to learn. And more than likely, they would have to get up and go back out of the room to the back of the room. If they don't, then I will call the principal or somebody else. You're not going to sit in my class and disrupt my class where other students want to learn. The HELL with that. You're not going to do that. The devil is a lie. Okay? That's what I would do. But I don't think I would take their phones from them, because even though you may have the authority to do so, these kids today are crazy. First of all, I have to ask this question: where did she get the pepper spray from? Now, one could argue where she has her mom or dad probably gave her pepper spray, or she brought the pepper spray from somebody, or whether to protect herself. Okay, that could be the case. But you're going to pepper spray a teacher? For what? Did he assault you? You shouldn't have the phone in the class. It's a classroom. It's not a lunchroom. It's not a social club. It's a classroom where you're supposed to be learning. This shows you that our youth, large in part, not all, large in part, have lost their way. And a lot of this goes back to the family. A lot of this goes back to the family. I'm just going to be real with you. The family needs to get back intact. And I mean that on two fronts. I mean that with both parents. But if you can't have both parents, if there aren't both parents in the home, then one of those parents have to have some kind of strong moral principles to teach these children. Okay, you got to say something to the kids, because else they're going to run back crazy. So a lot of this goes back to the parents. But a lot of it also is the school system itself, which has been infiltrated by secular humanism and infiltrated by Marxists and communists. Because the purpose was, one of the purposes, as I said earlier, was and is to destroy the family. And it has worked. The children have been separated from the parents, and the parents have been separated from the children. But on the most part, the children have been separated from the parents in all forms of authority. You can hear it in the music. Listen to the lyrics of a lot of these musical artists. Two particular genres in particular push this idea of rebellion: rock and roll and hip hop. Both are strong forms of rebellion against authority. F the government, F the police, F this person, F that person. It's all about rebelling against authority. And the reason for that is because when the kids develop a mentality to rebel against authority, then it's easier for the elite, those at the top of the pyramid, to control their minds, to prepare them for that which is to come. And I'm not going to say it on this video here, but you know what I'm talking about. The NWO, and that's real. They need their slaves for this new order to come on, that's coming on the scene. They need their slaves, and the children are the most gullible of these group of people. The children, because their minds are fresh and viable. You can develop their minds into anything you want. But you got to separate them from authority figures. That's why there's such a push against authority figures. And when I say authority figures, I'm not just talking about people that's just nothing but zombies. I ain't talking about them knuckleheads. I'm talking about strong men and strong women who have strong morals and strong values and strong principles that stand on those principles. The elites want to destroy those individuals. They want to destroy those individuals' credibility. You don't have to listen to them. You don't have to listen to your pastor. You don't have to listen to your mother, your father, the teachers. They don't know what they're talking about. So when you have lyrics and songs that push rebellion, that gets into the subconscious of the young people. Then you have school curriculum and certain factions of the teachers that push the same ideology. Okay, push the same ideology. What do you think the children are going to do? They're going to resist authority. So what you're seeing, in my opinion, is the outworking of that kind of worldview, the outworking of that philosophy. You're going to see this kind of stuff. And unfortunately, and I said this to some of my coworkers, unfortunately, you're going to see more of this kind of stuff this coming summer. I told a few of my police officers, few of the police officers I work with at Tower City, and several of my coworkers, I said, how these kids getting into fights and stuff up here right now, I said, you haven't seen anything yet come summer. I call this the summer of blood. I hope I'm wrong, but it will be the summer of blood. because these kids going to go bat crazy. If there's no guidance and there's no spiritual instruction and there's no guidance at home and the schools are not guiding them, the schools are brainwashing them anyway to be radical activists anyway. What do you think is going to happen? I believe in ending this video that the source is the parents. We got to get them, the parents, we got to get a hold of our children. No matter what, we got to get a hold of our children. And it don't always have to be, like I said in the ending of this video, it does not always have to be two parents in the home. That's preferable. That's how God designed it. But sometimes it don't work that way. But just because you're a single parent don't mean you cannot guide your children. Let me end the video on this. I believe Thomas Sowell, the great African-American economist, I believe he was raised by a single parent, his mother. I think his father died or something like that. Can't remember all of it. Or he was gone later on in his life. But for the most part, his mom raised him. Look at what he turned out to be. His mom, because in part, his mom had strong principles, and she pushed those morals and values and principles in him. The other man that had a strong mother with strong principles and values that she pushed in him was that neuroscientist, the neurosurgeon. I forget his name. God, I forget that man's name. That's who it was, Ben Carson. Do you not know Ben Carson was practically raised from a single family, a single parent family home? His mother. But his mother instilled in him the principle of studying and reading. He started off pretty bad. He was a pretty bad child, but his mother stayed on him. And look at what he turned out to be, one of the greatest brain surgeons in the country. People would come from all over different countries, or different areas rather, to come and get his help. It can be done. I think it has to start in the home. It has to start in the home. Doesn't matter what the elites are trying to do. What matters is what goes on in your own home. That's what matters. Okay, we haven't gotten to the point where they come into your home, breaking your doors down and taking your kids from you. We haven't gotten to that point yet, although I believe if America doesn't change, it's going to get to that, because they're going to find a reason to justify coming to take your children from you. We haven't gotten to that yet. It's mostly about brainwashing the kids in the school systems and brainwashing the kids with the music and the movies. But as parents, we still have the upper hand. And I believe the source is in the home with the parents, no matter what. That's what I believe. But that's my word on it. What do you guys think? Leave your comments in the comment section below. Like, share, and subscribe to my channel. God bless you all, and see you again.